Hello, everybody. I'm here to do another casual long time control game. Um, I'm gonna start it off here in a minute or two, but first I want to talk about the last two games I did. We're gonna go into this one first, and let's see here. So I missed a mate in two here, and honestly, I shouldn't have missed it. It's just right there. There's a mate in two right there. Um, I went for the piece grab or the positional or something much more annoying and long term when I should have just been looking for mates in this game. And then in the Chess Abyss game that I played yesterday, I missed the mate in one where I played the knight. Um, right off the beginning here, where I played this knight move, and mate in one is right there, right? It's pretty straightforward. It seems like I had a blind spot for mates that day. There wasn't really much I could do about it. I should probably be doing more mate puzzles, I think, to allow myself to actually see the easy win when there is an easy win, and not just try to go for these long term games. So, with that in mind, I'm going to try and see if I can create a game, and we're not going to miss mates. We're going to try and focus on mates, is what I'm thinking about. Hence the title of the stream today: Who Needs Mates? I hope everyone had a good New Year and a good holiday. Again, we're going to be waiting a little bit for a game here. Oh, we got one. All right. Oh, someone rated 2180 from Russia. Well, we'll see if they play. I'm a little bit scared. Okay, Caro-Kann. As you can see, I'm still question mark provisional rating. And we'll see. Okay, they're going fast. My bishop is having a bad day. I could take right away. They take back. I've given up the center. Now I'm afraid of this push. I could play a knight here with this in mind. But then of course my bishop is having a bad day. So how do I not make my bishop have a bad day here? I don't want to play this move because then he just kicks me and it creates all sorts of trouble. If I play this move and then they push, I can do this. Yeah, we're going to... My decision to do the knight move is because I do want to do this if they give me the opportunity. But the problem with my knight being here is then they can put pressure on this pawn. I guess then I can play like this and worry about my bishop later. We're going to do this move. My goal is to play this. If they start putting pressure on this pawn, I'm going to just baby step the move and just kind of go like that and see whether I can secure it up. I'm going to... yeah, the chat room is disabled. I don't want to talk to... It seems like they're going to use all their time as well. So, that could be an opening. Okay, they're playing their bishop there. So I could play this move. The problem with this is they're securing their dark square their dark squares with this move. So I could play here, and then when I play my bishop here, it's kind of like, how are you getting? You're going to have to move your piece twice. So let's. Okay, I have to stop and think. So I have a queen check, and they're probably going to block with the knight or retreat the bishop or play the queen, either one. So it doesn't really get me anything, this check move. I could consider fianchettoing my bishop, which is actually starting to seem pretty good. But then they would probably end up playing something like this with the trade. I could play this right now. I could just consider doing this and then challenging, but then they just kind of like shore up their center. I'm trying to find a way to break up the center. I feel like I need to challenge the center, so we're going to challenge the center. And I think part of the reason why I want to do this is because I really don't want to see them start marching these pawns straight down. I need to challenge it. And my bishop needs somewhere to go, and my knight needs to be able to develop into safety. So like this is me trying to make it so my king side doesn't get crushed. It's probably best I keep the tension for now. Maybe what I do is I play my bishop here, and then I play my knight here. Because if they try to challenge it in this direction with this pawn, I can just take. That wouldn't work because then they would fork me. So I got to be careful. I don't want to put my bishop here and my knight here at the same time, because if I end up as a potential to be forked, the two pieces like this. Oops. Here and right here. Okay, so they're securing their center. So having said I don't want my bishop here and my knight here, maybe I play something like this to stop development. Okay, so I need a developmental plan. My king feels pretty trapped. So I could play my knight something like this. Actually secures this piece. The only problem in playing that knight here is they would try and block me. I suppose if I play my knight here and they play their bishop here and I get out of the way, what do they have? Okay, here's my development plan. Knight here with the plan to go here to support this pawn. If they pin me, my queen goes here to support this pawn as well, because this is the piece where this is the place we're fighting over. So I want that center. I want that center. So you're going to go here. And then my bishop can safely develop here as well, and I'll have batteries on this. So for example, if my knight is guarding this and my queen is guarding this and my bishop's guarding this, I'm free to move my knight over here, and that's my coordination. So my knight would be here and here. I would have a queen, a bishop. Yeah, okay. So let's, if they take and I take and they take and I take, well, we're going to continue on. I need to be better with my time. So I can move this knight here if I want to But we're going to do bishop. Okay, where's that knight going to go? Probably here. We'll do bishop here. And then I want to play my knight there. Well, maybe I want to do this pawn move first. One thing I'm concerned about is playing knight here to knight here, and this bishop and this knight are blocking each other. I need to be able to control this square. Maybe what I do is I don't castle right away and I play something like this. Or I take this direction and then take the pawn. This opening is filled with traps. I have not played someone 2180 before. I'm still a question mark rating apparently, which is pretty crazy. So maybe they play their knight here first. This is a strange setup with all these pieces controlling the center like this. They're literally setting up to push. Makes me think this knight should probably be here to control this square. Yeah. At any point they could push. I could sink my knight in first. I don't know if that does any good. I could play this pawn here and stop this break over on this side. There's a check on this square, but then there's always just blocks. I'm playing what I feel like a very passive player, and these kind of plays just are very difficult for me. So if I play this move, and then they just continue to build, I'll play a knight here, maybe a bishop here, all to guard this square. But then what's stopping them from just playing this? Now this one's under control, because this pawn, this knight, and this bishop all control it. So if they push, I can take, and we're good. This is the one that I feel if they push on, I've got nothing to defend it. So I'm going to protect this square right here. It does open up these ones. Makes my dark squares weaker. Maybe my plan is to maneuver my knight into this square at some point. They could just challenge this right away, and I would be in trouble. I would have to take, I think, because this knight is not connected to anything. Maybe this move wasn't a good move. Okay, so they're setting up some stuff. I am going to move my knight here because I was really afraid of this move. So I'm going to set myself up here. So here's the thing. These are the battle squares right here. Everything we're trying to control is right there. And the way my opponents set up their pieces, they're basically looking for any force they can get. They're very passive in what they're doing. I don't see. They don't want to make any moves until I do anything. But I've been reacting to them the whole game. So they could play. They're not going to play this because I can take and they don't want to drop a rook. They could play this with the idea of keeping my knight out. But it makes queenside castling a bit dangerous because they've opened up the space. My bishop can go here if I want to defend this pawn, and indirectly defend this as well, maybe. So maybe my next developing move is bishop here. Again, focusing on these two squares. So maybe what I do is I put my bishop here, my queen here, my castle, and everything is connected. I kind of like the idea of parking my bishop here, and putting my queen here. So I think I'm gonna get castled first. Yeah, I'm gonna get castled first. So they have this extra piece now pushing here. I could, at some point, consider playing here. So, you know what I could do is if I play my knight in here, they can't take me because this bishop is trapped. So, for example, if I play my knight here, they have to take me with the bishop or ignore the knight, and then I get this bishop. So maybe what I do is I play in right here, because if they do take me with the knight and I take back, this bishop's trapped. So if they let me, I can play this knight into here and then try to win this bishop, because this bishop is indirectly controlling this break, which is what we've been trying to avoid. So maybe they let me jump this knight in with the idea of trying to take here, because they either have to ignore it or they give up one of the bishops. Okay, they're letting me do this. They've given their bishop space now. I could play here. I don't want to play here because if they take me and I take back, they have this move. So let's jump in. So I'm going to take like this. If they back their bishop up, then maybe it gives me an opportunity to play into here. So the idea is if they want to keep their bishops and they retreat this dude right here, this bishop right here, and then I hop in, they lose their light square bishop. If they take me, and I play like this bishop has to come off this piece. Maybe I should have thought this through. If they threw it through more, I take back, bishop retreats. This feels like a less productive square. That's a good thing. I don't want their knight jumping into here. I think if their knight jumps into here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take back, and I'm going to hop my knight into here. This is very complicated. Okay, so they've done this. So now I'm going to play here. So now this bishop is mine. So if they take me, I take back, bishop has to move, and then I take here. If they try to kick this knight first like this, I take here, I take this bishop. I want one of their bishops. They're dangerous pieces. So they can't take me with the knight. Well, they could, but it involves them losing one of their bishops is gone no matter what. So that's what I wanted, and that's what I'm looking for. So that's a good sign. And they gave it up in that fashion. Okay, we're gonna take back like this. Cool other thing is I can hop in right here. It's now an outpost. Although this is a very weak pawn, they could challenge it right away. Maybe what I do is I play my bishop right here instead. I don't know if that's worth it. Play my rook right here. I suspect that this might be a move. I could ignore it, and then when they take me and I take back, then I play my knight here. Maybe I don't want to move my knight from this square. This is a nice square. They can back up. If they back up, then I'll... Oh, okay. I kind of like this. It straightens out my pawns. Also means the knight has less of a jumping square. It did open up their queen, but I feel like I can run interference on the queen. I mean, I could play... This bishop has to move. Do I play it here? If they play this, and I play this, okay. I feel like I have to take. This pawn is weaker, but now I feel like more likely to play this move. Their dark squares are still weak, but they have their dark square bishop. I could play this move. My queen hasn't moved once, and neither has this bishop. This bishop needs to find somewhere productive to be. Here's an idea, is I can actually do this and bring this bishop back and bring this bishop out. The only problem is if I do make this weakness, I have a feeling what they're going to do is just force me to trade, and then I'm left with dark square weaknesses. So maybe that's not the best idea. There's a check, so if this knight ever moves, I don't know what it would give me if I gave a check, though. This bishop's staring at that pawn. I feel like if they play knight here, and I take, and their queen takes, I'm going to try and force a queen trade, I think, by playing my queen right here. But then what would they do? They would probably end up trying something like this, and then I would block them, and they would go like... I like the idea of giving a queen trade right now. I don't know why. I don't know if this is a winning position for me. It feels pretty even. There's an idea here. It's like I can park my queen here, and if they try to do a discovery, I can check and then mate. It's just a little thing that I see. If they are like, oh, you stepped into this discovery, and they play something like this with the idea of forcing me to move my queen, there's like an in-between move where I could just give a check and clearance the knight and win the game. But that's like hope chess. I don't think my opponent would do that. They would see it. This is still an opportunity. I could force the dark square bishop off, but then if the dark square bishop moves here... Okay, so here's a developmental idea. My queen goes to this square. So, and let's say they play something like this. And I take, and the queen takes, and my knight jumps in here. This pawn and this knight is something that would be an issue. And let's see, it puts a battery. If I put a battery right here, and then this knight hops in, this knight is in trouble, and this bishop's in trouble. If I take this bishop, and then I take this knight, I break their structure. I could also possibly win a pawn, depending on whether the rook takes or the king takes. So maybe my plan is to play a queen move here to guard my bishop. And then I play this knight move right here. And if they try to move their bishop to save their bishop, I can take. And then my queen takes. And then it's starting to look really dangerous, because then I can hop back. And then this is my queen would be here and my knight would be here. And I could also play, like, for example, bishop here, and then there's this pin. So yeah, here's the thought. Okay. I feel like I gotta take this knight. It's too good. I don't want it hopping back. Maybe I play my queen here like I planned, or do I play my knight first? I like the knight first. The knight goes here, it defends my bishop, it attacks their bishop. It also attacks this pawn. So I'm defending, I'm attacking, and I'm attacking. And then I can play this if I need to. So if they do try to save their bishop and do something like that, I can take it, and then I can take this pawn, and I'm up a pawn, and this knight is a monster. And this can't really be challenged, so I just have to defend this backwards pawn. So my opponent, this knight, has no moves really. He's just kind of a bit of a sad piece. Only one square is really usable, and that's backwards development. So the idea is if they play here, I'm just going to take, and then I'm going to take, and then I'll be up a pawn. The only problem is I don't want them to swing their rook over and then come down here. Maybe what I do first is I bring my rook, and then I move my knight. They can't play this move because this knight also guards this. So really they've got a couple options. They can do this. What can they do? Let me think. Bishop here, bishop can go here, and I can just take it, and I still win this pawn. Bishop can go here, and I can take it, and win this pawn. Bishop goes here, can't go here because then I can take it. So like, if they move their bishop, I win the pawn. So they're just going to play it that way. And then I play queen here. And they're likely to play their bishop right there. I could play queen here. This queen move is a threat. So let's continue with development. So now my rooks are connected. I'm now threatening this pawn. They can't move their bishop here because they drop a pawn. If they play this move, I still win this pawn. So they can't really do anything with this side of the board yet. If they jump here, I can take this pawn first. And then the king has to move. And then if I go like this, I'm threatening the knight. Okay, so here's an idea. So if they play their bishop right here, which is like an instinctive move, it's a very intuitive move, I give check. The king either can only go here, and when I bring my queen over, I am both threatening this knight and a discovery, so they have to do this. So my queen would be here, my bishop would be here, their queen would go here, and this bishop would be here. And then let's say, for example, I ignore it and take this knight. So let's say I take this knight, they take my bishop, I give check, king comes back, I play, no, maybe what I do instead is if I take this knight and they take my bishop, that's a really strong piece right here. I can't do that because then they would have mates, or they would have all sorts of stuff. Maybe instead what I do is I take the pawn, they play here, I go here, queen goes here, I take, they take, bishop comes back and challenges, because this is a strong piece. And they would take, and then I would take. I don't know if that's better for me or not. I mean, I'm up a pawn. It's a bit hard to visualize at that point because I'm getting so many moves ahead. Let's do it again. So they play bishop here. I take this pawn. They move into this square here. I go here. They go here. I don't like their bishop here. This is a really strong piece in the center of the board. So, I mean, I could just, like, you know, they move their bishop right here. I take this pawn, and then I just come back and just say, yeah, I've accomplished it. I've gotten a pawn. And if they try to take me, I can just force queen trades and stuff. And this knight's still sad. Maybe I don't do fancy things. So, like, this whole try to find a discovery and trading knight for bishop, I don't see much I can get out of it. I mean, there's a check. Yeah, okay. That's an interesting thought. Alright, so I think I just win a pawn. But then they take this pawn. What about this? Okay, I got lots of time. I got 20 minutes. I need to think. This feels like a good position for me. I could play this move, and it forces their queen here. And then I take. If I play this move and they go here, then I can play that move. And then they have to get off this this file, because I don't want this pawn to drop. This is an important pawn. So maybe this is the time for my king to get some space. So I kick their queen. And if they go here, I kick him again, kick her again, and then she has to go back. And there's no getting this pawn. This exchange for a pawn feels bad for me. So if I play this move and they take, I take back with my queen. They take, my knight takes. What if I just take their bishop and call it a day? I don't try to be greedy with the pawn. So if I take it and they take back, and then let's say I play this. And they go here. I could take, they take, I could give check and win a rook. I think that's a much more better continuation. So I give check, or take the bishop, they take back, I give check, king has to move, and then I give check again, and they have no choice but to trade the rook, and this knight is hanging. And it has nowhere to go, so the queen has to come back here to defend it. Let's do with that let's do the calculation. I take, white takes back, I give check, king has to move, knight gives check, king goes up instead. Maybe that's the important part, is to do something like this instead. I give check over here, so if the king does move here, I can swing back over and give check on this square. It doesn't help me, because then he just shuffles back to this point. And then we're into drawing territory. Unless there's more. I mean, I can give check here, get closer. I could take this knight. Okay, so here's the other idea. So I take this bishop, they take back, I give check here, because this is important. The king has to move, and if I give check, and the king does not return and instead moves up, I can come back over here, give check, and take this knight, and I'm guarding my pawns. We're going to go with that. This is the important square right here, because I want to be able to swing over here and give check. They can't even come up here, because that's mate almost. If they block with the queen, then I can take the knight. So their choice is to give up a rook or to lose a whole piece, is basically the idea. So they have two options. They can go here or they can go here. If they go here and I give check and they come back, what kind of discoveries are there? I go here for check. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna give check there. The other important part is if they do trade and we do this and their queen gets greedy, a knight move means this knight is toast because I'll end up having two pieces on it. So the question is, if they come back and I give check again and the king goes here. Oh, this is full of dangers because if I do this discover check and they go up, I can give check right here and the queen has to be given up, otherwise it's mate. Yeah, I think we're seeing this. Okay, so I'm going to give check. See, this is really important. These two squares were defining which one you go to. So they're down a knight now, and this pawn is guarded. This knight is not guarded. So I'm not down a knight. I could just go like this. Oh no, I'm misplaying this. Oof. I should have thought that through. There was more opportune stuff. I missed the knight. I missed this take. Yeah, okay. I don't like my position now. They have freaking 3 passed pawns over here. I've misplayed this horribly. I don't like what I'm getting into. Okay, all right. Where did that go wrong? He went here. I took this. I should have just gone back. No, because then I would have lost the piece. What a bad continuation. Shit. I had so much there. Okay, alright. Well, no use crying over things. Which knight rook is best is probably this one. I'm very disappointed in myself. I played that way too fast. All right. Well, let's hope my opponent's not great at endgames. What did I do there? I was overexcited. I miscalculated. So close to the idea of mate. I just take this knight. I should have just gone back. Found something better. Okay, no use. Like I can't. I'm a little tilted. Do this. I'm just going to trade rooks. Play something like this. I'm just going to now. I can't play this. My opponent's low on time. That's a saving grace. So I have to defend this pawn. Let's say I go here. I feel like I need to let that pawn fall, and then I play something like this. My rooks need to get active. I play king here. Sigh. Alright, well, let's see what we can do. Maybe come back this way. Play here, play here. I feel like this game should have been mine. I'm gonna have to go look at the analysis after it. I'm very disappointed in myself. Here, try and put pressure. Play this maybe. My king needs to come over to try and stop these passed pawns. This is probably the best move right here. Very disappointed. I let this flight of fancy think I had the game when I didn't. Didn't quite expect this continuation, but I think it's going to be good enough. And then they just push like this. Yeah. Can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. So maybe I just kind of try and break them up. Yeah, they're not even going to let me do that. Alright, king has got to come over. That's got to go first, and then that's got to go first. Yeah, they're going to trap my rook. Game over. Alright. Let's do a post-mortem. I am really upset at myself. Yeah. I bet you this is right where we traded knights. Yep. Oh, joy. Alright. That was a blunder, huh? So basically, you just keep piling up. Basically, with this idea in mind, it's very simple. Yep. I had built such an advantage. Queen moves with a blunder, hey? Oops. Blunder. Why was that a blunder? Ah, this is the one I was talking about. I guess the computer really liked this idea of kicking this queen off the take. Yeah, they like this square. Yeah, see, the difference is I thought my knight was here at that point. I kind of messed up my calculations. Yeah, I should have. What I should have done is I should have. Diving in at that point is bad. You do this first. King comes over. Oh, I could have won the knight anyway. So I didn't even see this. So this I talked about this idea. I didn't have the sequence correct. It was a winning move, and I missed it. Well, I'm a little disappointed in this. This felt like a really nice accurate game, and it really quite wasn't. Give check, king here, give check, take the goddamn knight. Right here, wide out, open, right here. I played that sequence incorrect. How much time did I take on that move? Times. 301 seconds, so at least I took the most time on the winning point. I got this move correct. So I got this sequence correct. It was just when they played this I missed the straight tactic. I was trying to find a mate, and I guess that's just not in the tea leaves. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. That's a hard loss to take, but you know what can you do? Okay, take care.